Take 12, action.
Good afternoon. My name is Oliver Westmoreland. I am an IAA-registered Level 3 advisor and I am Senior Immigration Lawyer with GSN Immigration. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon so that you can continue to watch our extremely interesting videos about UK visa and immigration advice. Now, today's topic is something a bit different. We're going to talk about the UK population and immigration. In the course of preparing this, I dug up some very interesting facts. Did you know the population of the UK now is just about 70 million? It is increasing, and pretty much. The really interesting thing is that the increase comes very, very largely from immigration, not from natural population growth. Let me explain those things. Immigration, I mean specifically net immigration. The number of coming in compared with the number going out. Now, the number coming in is always larger at the moment. That is net immigration. Natural birth rate is the number of people who die and the number of people who are born. That's what it means pretty much. It's going up, but there's a big discrepancy. We could say that the increase, such as it is almost entirely due to immigration. Amazing but interesting fact. Now, I'm going to give you a technical term you might find interesting: replacement rate. If the number of births is larger than the number of deaths, it's above the replacement rate. If the two figures are exactly the same, then it is the replacement rate. Sometimes in this country, it's actually gone lower. Like with the coronavirus, for example, more people than usual were dying. It was actually lower than the replacement rate, that the natural population was falling. But in a kind of a way, it didn't matter because net immigration is always going up year by year by year, as long as I've been looking at this. Now, the figures come in different timescales. The most recent figures for the overall population of the UK come from the Office of National Statistics, ONS. This is a government organisation. It says now, the most recent period for which they have figures is from mid-2023 to mid-2024. That is the most recent period that we have for complete figures. They tell us the interesting fact that the UK population grew by 754,957 people in that time period. Let's call it 755,000. This is quite large, actually, relatively, historically. But remarkable thing about this, only 16 and 239,000 was due to natural population growth. It was a very, very small proportion. It makes you think, doesn't it? 738,718 come by way of net immigration. So this is really something to think about. Now, it's now late 2025, I'm sure you probably realise. These figures are already out of date, obviously, but we can make a kind of a guess what they might be now. A very rough or vague guess indeed. The figures for population generally are more out of date. The figures for migration come later, more up to date. If we look at the figures for net migration alone, we've got figures up until December 2024. Figures then actually show quite a fall in net migration. Just 431,000 in the previous year. This shows quite a fall. Now, we can't make any exact predictions, but we can make a good guess. Must be, when the figures for mid-2024 to mid-2025, when they come out, it must be quite a bit substantially lower than what it was, the figure we have at the moment, 755,000. It's going to be substantially lower, I am pretty sure about that. I don't know what, but it's going to be quite a big fall. I don't think it can get down to zero anytime soon, but that's the way things go. Now, you know, especially if you follow our blogs and vlogs, well, at least the last two governments, this Labour government, the Conservative government, they've taken lots and lots of measures to reduce immigration to this country, one way and another. You know, for example, most particularly, they limited student-dependent visas. They've abolished the care worker visa completely. This has made a lot of difference. Other things as well, lots of things. I'm not sure how significant it is, but you may remember a few months ago, they increased the earnings requirement for those applying for family members to join them in the UK. Apparently, it's FM family members. They increased it quite dramatically from 18,600 per year to 29,000 per year. I don't know if that's going to have some. It surely must have got some effect. You add all these things together, it has had certainly strong effect. So we shall see what the next figures show us. I'm not going to make any specific predictions because they might be wrong. How it's going to work out, I don't really know. But do you notice that the Labour Party or the government, the Conservative Party, Reform UK, they are competing with each other for strong anti-immigrant, but it's like a sort of competition. So whoever forms the next government, I know it's going to make a lot of difference to that. Mr. Shah, do you have any questions on this broad and interesting topic?
Indeed, broad topic, and thank you very much for discussing this with us today. Like you mentioned, it's like a race between political parties at the moment. Like we discussed, there is always advantage to something and disadvantage to something. With increasing number of migrants, we can also see that there is contribution made by the migrants in terms of making fee payments, paying national insurance contribution, income tax, etc. VAT. All of that should add up, and hopefully the government should use that money to invest back into the system, services, infrastructure to improve people's life. However, it seems that the government say that increasing number of migrants is just putting more and more pressure on infrastructure, resources, and services. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the government has a point. You get loads and loads more immigration. I mean, you think of the free movements European scheme. You got a lot of immigration very, very, very fast. A lot of people were earning money and paying taxes and so on and so forth. The government was trying to catch up with building more accommodation and building more infrastructure. But I mean, it's a catch-up thing. I think that the government, in all honesty and fairness, they're struggling to catch up, and pretty much they haven't. I mean, you think of London, it gets so crowded. You can build a few new underground lines here and there, but if it gets more and more populated, it gets out of control. The government is pretty much doing their best, I suppose, well, so they say, but really it's a big catch-up game, and sometimes they don't catch up. Do you notice with Yvette Cooper, the last Home Secretary, the reason that she gave for abolishing the family reunion assignment, she says, it's placing too much strain on the infrastructure. Well, that's a small number. You think of everything. That is the government's argument, and always has been, really. It places huge and demanding demands on the infrastructure. It can't keep up. You can't just build infrastructure all the time. You meet a kind of a barrier. So I think the government has a point. I think probably going to be a lot of people going to disagree with this, but I think we have to think about, we can't have uncontrolled immigration. We must control it in a way which is most beneficial for the UK and the UK economy.
Sure.
I sound like a government spokesperson. I'm not. I think it has to be fair to the government as with everybody else.
Sure. And you mentioned about the sharp number falling down about the migration.
Yes.
I mean, would you say it's sort of a trend that we see for a few years where the government makes policies to tighten the immigration laws, and suddenly they need more people and they make new policies to bring in?
That's a two-part question. The first part, it looks extremely light to me because, as I say, you're getting this competing environment. I think that it's Reform UK, which is pretty much behind it, but now Labour think, we're not going to win the next general election, and they compete. And the Conservatives are in on the act as well. I wouldn't be surprised if for the next few years net migration is probably going to decrease. Now, whether part two happens, well, you know the old thing, don't they say, British people are too lazy. They should be trained to do these jobs that foreigners could do, but does it ever happen?
Okay, great. Well, this was a great discussion.
I'm British myself. I feel quite lazy.
Awesome. Well, it was lovely to have you in this vlog, and
I'd
we
love to
see
be
you in
here.
the next one.
See you next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.